Hi guys, welcome back to Charlie and me, our camping vlog, a Wednesday video. It's a question and answers video. I put up on our YouTube channel a couple of weeks ago, would you like us to do another questions and answer video? Because we do get a lot of questions about the podcast and Charlie and me, be it on Instagram, Twitter, or just under in the comment section of the videos. So I asked, did you want another questions and answer video? And he said yes. I think we got enough questions for 2 videos, but let's just harp on through the questions and see how we get. So I got Deirdre to print them out for me. Some of them we've answered before, but I will answer them again because we've a lot of new subscribers to the channel. So let's kick off with question number 1. And Aidan asks, how many places in Ireland do you go every year? I would say we average about 20. So I went back on last year and I looked it up, and in 2022 we did 30 campsites, but that included our 2 or 3 weeks in France, which I think was 3 or 4 campsites. So I'm going to say on average we will definitely get 20 campsites in a season. John was on, he said, how old is Charlie and how long have you got him? We've answered this before. Charlie was born on the 22nd of April 2013. We got him in 2013 in June for our first wedding anniversary when myself and Deirdre were 1 year married. So that makes him 10 on the 22nd of April. It is now May, so this June we will have him 10 years. Liam was on, what do you like and dislike about camping? Oh my God. I love camping. Even before Charlie and me and the Camping Crew podcast, I love camping. I love doing nothing. Just sit in the campsite. How are you? How's it going? Go for a short walk with Charlie. Where Deirdre, she loves walking. She loves campsites by the beach, and she'll go missing with or without Charlie for a long time, just walking. On a wet day in the van, I like having the TV. We've got the, what do you call it, the Fire Stick. So I like to watch TV, or I bring a lot of DVDs. Jim was on. How many campers have you had up to now? And what one is your favourite? I think we've had 11 campers. We put graphics on the front of our campers. At the moment it's a man pulling his hair out and a Charlie Brown. But before, we also put a cue ball. So I think the HYMER we have now is number 11. The B ball was 11A, because that wasn't really our camper. That was a project for Charlie and me, even though we kept it for almost 2 years. And of course we now have the VW-T3. That will be number 12. Because I plan on keeping that Volkswagen T3 for quite a long time. But we're also hanging on to the HYMER. The T3 isn't big enough. Deirdre likes her comforts and she likes to shower and the toilet and the big kitchen in the HYMER. So HYMER is 11, T3 will be 12. My favourite one, I think, 11, 10, was number 9, which was the first camper van myself and Deirdre bought together. It was my second HYMER. I think it was a Swift, and we took it on our honeymoon. We bought it in 2012, literally weeks before we got married. I think that was my favourite. Martina 457. Who are the Camping Crew and how can I become a member? You can't become a member. The Camping Crew are just friends of ours. When I started camping first, I met Rona and Malcolm, who used to work with Deirdre. We met them at Vantastival in 2013, when the first time I ever went to Vantastival. Also at Vantastival, we met Ross and Aoife and their 3 children. They're based in Dublin. Chris came along. We had a party in Rona and Malcolm's, and Chris is a friend of Malcolm's. He came along and that's how I met him, Chris Byrne of the podcast. And then one of his friends and Malcolm's friends, Tony, came along. So we have a HYMER, Chris has a HYMER, Ross is in the process of selling his HYMER, but he had a HYMER. Rona and Malcolm have a 1970s Volkswagen T2, a stunning machine. And then Tony and Victoria have a T5, a Volkswagen T5, and that is the Camping Crew. If somebody leaves the Camping Crew for whatever reason, we're not a club, we're just a group of friends and we call ourselves the Camping Crew, hence the name for the podcast. Donald, apart from the Glen of Aherlow, which you have mentioned in your videos, I have. Have you any other favourite places that you like to go camping to? We love Clifton Eco Park. Deirdre loves any site with a beach, right? Recently I brought her to Linders in Portrane. She loves it. I also brought her to, I think it was called Silver Sands in Wicklow. She loves it. But she loves Renville and Clifton Eco Park, which are pretty much within 20 minutes of each other, but I think Clifton Eco Caravan and Camping Park just tips it as her favourite. We also both love St Margaret's in Wexford. Where else? Oh, Blarney in Cork, we love that one. But yes, the Glen of Arlo, run by George and Rosalie Drew, is still my favourite campsite in the whole wide world, and we hope to get down there within the next couple of weeks and do a revisit video. Shay and Julie ask, Charlie and Me is a great idea, as is the Camping Crew podcast. We love them both. Our question to you is, how did you come up with the idea, and how did it all start? Years ago, I set up, we're talking 1995, a website called campsitereview.com, and it had a forum which was free, and the company I worked for at that time, their legal team kept an eye on what people were saying on the forum, slating off people. But anyway, it was set up for like-minded campers like myself to write reviews mostly on campsites, and then it went into camping products, and then it went into asking questions. Then Facebook came along, and we'd 7,000 members I think at the time on Campsite Review, but then it just eased off a little bit because Facebook was the place to go. And then I was on a campsite bored, to be honest, and Deirdre said, why don't you just go and do a review and put it up on Campsite Review? And I was walking around and I said, I'll take notes with my phone, and I did it on video. And then I went back and Deirdre suggested, why don't you set up a YouTube channel? She came up with the name Charlie and Me. I was going with Aaron's Travels, Aaron's Travel Tips, Aaron's Campsite Reviews. I even went with Campsite Review, and she said, no. You're going to name it after Muttley there. So Charlie and Me came up. And as I said, we go camping with the Camping Crew, and Chris is our techie guy and he loves podcasts. I had never listened to a podcast. And he said, hey, why don't we try a podcast? I'm going to be honest. We thought we'd get 50 episodes onto the Camping Crew podcast. We are now on episode 175 and we're 2 years in, and we love it. At the moment, off season, they go every second Wednesday, but hopefully during the holiday camping season, they will be every Wednesday. And we love your input, and thank you very much for your input. And so many of you do get in touch with us. Right, this has run for 7 minutes. Let's do one or two more. Tom asks, my question is, what is the best way to keep your van cool in warm weather? Keep the blinds closed. If you don't have aircon, if you don't have a max fan, keep the blinds closed. If you keep the sun out, you'll keep the heat out. I've got to be honest. Now, before we went to France in 2022, we got a max air fan from Happy Turf Conversions in Limerick, happyturfconversions.ie. It was fine. It sucks out air, it blows in air, it's a remote control, it was fine. When we came back from France, we were there for the heat wave. Deirdre told me to get a Dometic aircon unit. We now have an air conditioning unit in the skylight over the bed. The max fan is in the skylight over the kitchen area, the dinette. The air conditioning is also a heater. I have used it as a heater, and I have used it once, air conditioning, and that was actually in Linder's a couple of weeks ago because it was so warm. So yeah, so I would say keep the blinds closed, or get a max fan, or get an air conditioning unit. Right, final one. Sharon and Keith ask, as we are new to all of this, I was just wondering what people typically do on their holidays. Do they typically stay in one campsite for the duration, or do people normally visit a few campsites? My reason for asking this is I was watching your Charlie and Me videos, and I noticed that you visit a number of campsites during your holidays. Also, how far in advance would you normally book in the summertime? We do France one year, Ireland the next year, so we're doing Ireland this year for 2023. Because of the staycation booming since COVID, you really need to start booking. If you know your holidays are going to be from June 8th for 2 weeks, you want to start booking in February, March, or as soon as campsites open. Midweek, May and June, you'll get pitches. But come the holidays, when kids are on holidays, June, July and August, you will find it hard to get pitches even midweek, and possibly nigh on impossible at the weekends. So yes, definitely book as soon as you can. We seldom stay. See, we've no children. If you have children, you tend to just pitch, they make friends, you'll stay for the week or maybe the 2 weeks. We tend to move on because we've only got the fur baby, Charlie Brown. Even if we're not recording videos, which, to be honest, now since Charlie and Me, even on holidays, we do record the videos. But when we weren't, 3 days was enough to stay, in my opinion, on a site. So over your 2 weeks holidays, you might get to do four campsites. Let's leave it at that for a minute. If ever you have a question on the podcasts or on Charlie and Me, please do send us an email to this sales@charlieandme.ie, okay? And I'll put them all together. I get Deirdre to type them out, and we'll do another video like this on a Wednesday. I've enough questions here for one more video. I just don't want to drag this one on. I think 10 minutes is quite enough for a video. So let me just show you something. No change there then. The star of the show is just sleeping quietly while I do the work, and then he'll sleep quietly while I edit this video. From me, Aaron, from Charlie Brown, thank you for your support. Thanks for the questions. Any questions whatsoever for the Camping Crew podcast or for Charlie and me, get them into us again, sales@charlieandme.ie. Check out charlieandme.ie for merchandise for the Camping Crew podcast and Charlie and Me t-shirts and mugs and key rings. We have quite a few of them hanging up there as samples, as you can see. And all the prices are on the website, and all the money we make goes to funding the videos and the podcast for you guys. Again, from me, Aaron. Thanks for the questions. Take care. Bye bye.